January marks 5 years that I've worked in a cabinet shop. So basically, I'm a professional and I know everything there is to know about making cabinets. Okay, just kidding. But in this video, I am gonna show you guys how to make a bookcase like a pro. This is a quick and easy project and I got it done in just a couple of hours. So the first thing we're gonna do is start ripping all of the face material, and because this is gonna be a stained grade cabinet, we're using knotty alder. Normally I'd rip all of my pieces at 2 inch, but I'm matching another bookshelf for my customer, so I'm ripping everything down to 1.5 inches. After that, we're gonna cut the vertical stiles to length, which is 84 inches tall, and then we're cutting the horizontal rails at 22.5 because the width of this bookcase is 25 total. This frame is going to go together with pocket hole joinery, and like always, I'm using my correct Foreman to do that. It's the fastest and easiest way to punch a pocket hole. Assembling the frame is super easy. I'm clamping all my joints and just driving my pocket holes straight in. After we've made the frame, we're moving on to ripping the material for the body. Like I said earlier, this is a stained grade cabinet, so we're also using alder 3/4 inch plywood on the actual box. I think the total depth of this cabinet was 10 3/4 inches, so I'll rip this side down to 9 3/4 inches, which accounts for a 1/4 inch back and a 3/4 inch face frame. Being able to build like a professional means having tools made for professionals. This is the hole boring machine that puts holes in all of our cabinets for all of our shelves, and it just makes life a breeze. The last two components to the body are the top and the bottom deck. And it's standard for us to use birch plywood because they're not show sides of the cabinet, so they don't need that high quality alder plywood. And of course, those will also get pocket holes. This is actually a pretty simple bookcase, so assembly is also pretty simple. I'll do the top of the bookcase first. Obviously, we do pocket holes facing up, glue, staples, and then I drive in those pocket holes. That way, this cabinet is never coming apart. After that, before I put the bottom deck on, I'll put the face frame on. And the reason I do this is just so that I can place that bottom deck perfectly with the top of the bottom rail, if that makes sense. I don't know what happened, but I put the face on. I had this nice cinematic shot of lining up the edge and making it all beautiful, putting this deck in, and it didn't record. So just pretend that that's what happened and you loved it. I've already stapled this left side in, and to make sure my spacing is perfectly parallel and symmetrical between the two walls, I'll use one of my brace pieces that'll support the decks as a spacer for those sides where they meet the face frame. After the face is on and the decks are on, I'll put those braces in. Not only will that add to the rigidity of the cabinet, that'll give me something to drive a screw through to mount this guy to the wall. When it comes to my shelves, I'm using all alder stained grade plywood, and just like I did with our face frame, I use 1.5 inch pieces of alder to trim out the shelves. When it comes to sanding, a lot of people always ask me what wood putty I use. I've showed this off in several videos. This is the Famawood wood filler. It's kind of a more expensive wood putty, but let me show you why it's worth its weight in gold. You take the putty to all of your nail holes, all of your cracks, all of the joints where you meet rails to stiles, and then after it dries, all your nail holes and your butt joints, after it dries, you sand these guys. And your joints are clean and crispy and no gaps at all, and your nail holes are almost invisible. Once these are done and stained, you'll never see this stuff ever. No holes, no gaps, beautiful. All right, so the cabinet's done, but I'm gonna wait to put the back on because I wanna stain all of it. And I've screwed myself in the past where I'm trying to get in the nooks and crannies with stain, and it just doesn't work because of the back or shelves or something like that. So I'm leaving all that off, and then I'll stain it, and then I'll put it back on. We're trying to color match with the stain color that they had. And this is red mahogany. This is the color that I always used to put on all the furniture that I made. Funny enough, I hate it now. Staining and recording yourself staining at the same time is kind of difficult, so please just try as best as possible to enjoy this clip. I mean, look at that. That's beautiful and cinematic. Pro tip number 567. Never brush on stain with a paintbrush. I always wipe on with an old rag. That stops me from applying too much in one area because you just immediately wipe the whole surface down and it doesn't leave any time for the stain to build up. After that, I clear coated everything and we were finally finished. I say finished, but obviously I still need to put the back on, and so I just lay down a bead of glue and staple it in on all of its edges. All right, so it's time for the reveal and to see if I was able to match the current bookcase that they had. And I think I did a pretty good job. I planned on attaching it to the wall, but when I realized the others weren't attached, I'm just gonna skip that step for now until I get approval. Finally, the last touch, I'm putting all the shelves in, and I'm gonna try to line them up with the shelves on the existing bookcases. This is probably project number 15 that the monks have asked me to do for them, and I really appreciate it. You may have missed it, but I mentioned in my last video that we bought 5 acres of land, and building random cabinets like this is one of the ways that we're funding the progress on that land. I charged $500 for this bookcase, and that will go directly into an account that is gonna build my future woodworking shop. And on top of that, the funds from this video, if you watched this long, you helped contribute, will also go into that account. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.